Three. Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Big P here. You know, don't you? You know. That's why you've tuned in. You won't leave me alone, will you? I'm only joking. Today I'm joined by Michael from London.
London. Yep.
Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. Is that what you sing when you go out on prowl or whatever they call it around you, or not pub crawling?
I'm a quiet man. I don't go out. I don't drink alcohol, to be honest.
I mean, do you smoke weed?
Never even tried.
God, what do you do to? I don't know. How do people like you chill out then? I don't know. What do you do?
Well, I play different sports. I play PC games, go running, go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good man. You're like Lee Frotch. He's like that now. Maybe I might go like that one day. I don't know. You don't even chase birds, do you, Michael?
No, I don't, to be honest.
Good man. Good man. Save your money. Hey.
Why not?
We're gonna go balls deep. Not with your balls, that is. I'm all right with my own balls, but we're gonna go balls deep with the Richard Towers, Neil Marsh intense beef in the bubble. Bit of trouble in the bubble. Eddie's running around saying he's like a parrot, isn't he, Eddie? From what I've heard, I'm only going on. Two people have told me the same story from two different camps. Apparently, when you're in the bubble, you're allocated a time, when you train, because obviously the headline act, aren't they? Kelly Evanesian. Kelly's been training at gym with his team, which is obviously Adam Bull, Richard Towers. The other kids come into gym. This is only what I've heard. I've not seen. The other kids come into gym with his team. I think it's Carl Greaves, Neil Marsh. Something's been said. I've heard from Kelly. Apparently, I don't know if Neil Marsh has said something back. I don't know. It's 6-2.5%. Other Richards, obviously, he's with that team, isn't he? His street sense sort of kicked in, and apparently there's been an altercation. That's all we've heard between Neil Marsh and Richard. But they're saying it's handbags, and if they've moved on, I think that's good. They don't need to be getting anybody involved, do they? Really?
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean,
you always not involved, do we? Or Bill or out. So if they've sorted it out like men, that's good. They all had a game of ping pong after, so it wasn't even raw. It wasn't even intense beef. It's not even raw beef. You know what I'm going to call it? Corned beef from Aldi.
Nothing, yeah.
I'm not even going to put tutti frutti HP sauce of it. I'm just going to put a cheap version of Daddy's brown sauce and corned beef. It's like corned beef to me is kitty cat, what you give a cat. But I only have corned beef when I'm in jail.
Yeah, you did time, didn't you?
Time, listen, mate. I've done more time than Goldilocks and the Three Bears, mate. How can I explain it? I think they've got a fight to sell, haven't they? You think?
Yeah, it could be one or the other. Maybe something.
Go on, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, maybe something's happened, or maybe they're just trying to pump the views up because, as I say, boxing's a clown show these days. Like a lot of it, they create stories to try and they create narratives. Oh, like Adam Smith. Oh, she's got a terrific backstory, So it could just be well, it's like the way boxing is these days. Put something out on Instagram, put something out on social media, or maybe something did happen. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going to get to know because it's all secret society, isn't it, with bean masons? Right, let me just. Where's that gone? Right, I'm just going to play you something here. This is a bit of press conference. This is just 1 minute at press conference. Are you ready, Michael?
Yeah, go for it.
This is bean, runner bean, could have been, should have been, never been, baked bean, creepy bean, beanie, Rumpelstiltskin, and your laptop in. We're on to you. Right, here we go.
tested negative. They're both so excited about this fight, as are we. I think it's a fight that if it had happened in Sheffield at the back end of 2018, I think it would have lost something sparkle because it is such a great match. Also, for Albanesi's European title, there's been obvious deal between the two camps. There's been a lot of questions asked about whether Josh Kelly is ready for this, whether Albanese is quite as good as some of his old form might suggest. Timing, I think, is crucial to this fight. But what it is, it's a real 50-50 fight. You talk to people inside of the bubble, outside, around the boxing game, and people are split, really split. I think a lot are going for the proven, hardened aggression, experience, and knowledge of Avanesian. But I think in equal numbers, people are going for the sublime skills, the precocious talent, and the ability that we know that Josh Kelly possesses. Put that in a melting pot, Andy, and we should have an absolute firecracker on Saturday night. It's one I cannot wait for.
Firecracker. Beans.
Did
you hear it?
Yeah, he's come up with a new word now.
Firecracker. Added spice, sizzling, durable, rough, tough, rugged. None of them mean nothing now. None of them mean nixes. It's firecracker. Firecracker is the word for this weekend. Firecracker. From bean, there's the alphabet and there's the bean effect. You know what I mean? Jesus, what is he? Is he winding me up, him, that bean? He can't be for real, him, can he? Because if he is, I know where there's 100 of them at Waffwood. I'm telling you now, Rotherham, mate, Nuthouse. He's not well in bean, is he? Painful to hear that. I couldn't listen to the rest of it, but I just thought I'll take 1 minute out of it, and there you go. First minute he started, didn't he? With there's English and there's Beanlish. He started with the Beanlish, didn't it? Language. It's like a language that only the cult, the Bean Masons know. Now I don't want to be a conspiracy theory guy. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road, Michael. Not my style, but come on.
Yep.
He's not well, him, is he, Beanie?
I mean, I don't mind him on a personal level, but I don't know. I think Sky Sports needs someone new. I just don't like what's going on with Sky Sports.
Now, isn't it?
Well, it's just boring. I don't really like it. I don't like how boxing's gone downhill. I mean, I'm a boxing fan. I love boxing. I'm not interested in people because people are just people. So I'm not obsessed with any particular fighter. I love the sport, but they've turned it into a joke.
Yeah. All right, then. Moving on from the adventures of Tintin. My mind's gone blank and it'll come back to me in a second. Oh, Callum Johnson. Callum Johnson's left Eddie Hearn. He's signed with Bricktop. He weren't going to sign, but Bricktop threatened to feed him to his pigs. So he's signed with Bricktop. I'm only joking. Callum Johnson's left Eddie and he's gone to Frank. So is that a good move? Yeah, because he hasn't been active, has he, really, with Matchroom?
No.
Michael.
No, but as I said to you, I mentioned this before about business. Yeah, but you got to go to where the money is. If someone's offering you a better deal, then you should go to them. Like I said, Eddie's not your mate. It's a business. So if Frank's offered him a good deal, go to Frank.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
I just hope he gets paid on time.
You start what?
I just hope Callum gets paid on time.
Well, I hope that he gets more than what they offered him to fight Boazzi.
Yeah.
Well, they halved it, didn't they, what they offered him? But Boazzi's money was still the same. Why is that? They're both on equal footing, aren't they? What's all that about? Both from the same stable. You can't do that, can you?
It's double standards. Boazzi's with Anthony Joshua, so they're trying to keep Joshua happy. Well, Joshua's on the manager's cut, isn't he? He manages Boazzi.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah, and obviously Boazzi trains up here, doesn't he? EIS over here, and
obviously they don't want to do anything to upset Joshua. So
did you go down? Did you go down there when you went to Sheffield, Michael?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
When you came here, when you came up to Doncaster, you know, when we were, did you, had you done, have you been there before?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't been to not to the institute yet.
Well, you're not missing out. You're not missing out. You've got Joshua's team walking around there thinking that security, aka Skins, come see me, you prick. You prick. Go report back. Tell Femi I said he's a big dosser. But look, this is how I look at it. Joshua's had handpicked opponents. They've got them all at the right time. Your Pulefs, your Tackhams, Povetkins. You know, the list is endless. Parker is big useless dosser anyway from New Zealand. I never rated him. Never rated him at all. Dylan White beat him, so that just shows you how good Parker is. And that were a life and death. I never rated him. Joshua's been carefully matched. Vladimir in his 42nd year. He's not been nowhere near Fury, and the fight looks further away now than ever, doesn't it?
Again, I don't. It's difficult to. With Vladimir, I think I can't hold it against Joshua because it's not his fault that Vladimir was that age. All you can do is fight them when you fight them. I do hold this one against Joshua. Joshua's never fought Luis Ortiz. When Luis Ortiz came to this country, he should have fought him, but he never did. So I hold that against him.
You don't mention Ortiz. Don't mention Joe Joyce. Don't mention Usyk. Does Joshua mention Usyk? You never hear it mentioned, do you? 2 gold medal Olympians and now in same weight from same Olympics. He didn't even dream about Usyk, did he?
Yeah, but you think he's scared of Usyk?
Yeah, I don't think he's scared of his power. He's just scared of somebody outmaneuvering. Andy Ruiz wanted an Iceman, but he got into position to unleash on him, didn't he? And Usyk is a technician. I'm a massive fan of his, and Beterbia, or Beta Beaver, whatever they call him. Beta Beaver. But do you know what I mean? I just think that Usyk's the real deal, mate. Him and Tyson Fury, top men in that division, I think.
See, the thing is, now, I'm not saying you're wrong, but fighters won't look at it like that. In Joshua's mind, he'll just say, "I'm too big, I'm too strong for Usyk." Because look at when Usyk fought Chisora. Chisora gave him a lot of problems. I mean, you remember when Hay fought Chisora? Hay knocked Chisora's spark out. Usyk couldn't do it. So if I was Joshua's probably thinking Usyk's too small. He doesn't punch hard enough. I think all Joshua's going to be thinking about right now, probably just thinking about Fury, the biggest money fight there is. Well, a lot of these fighters, I mean, you've spent a lot more time around fighters than I have. Well, they live in bubbles, no pun intended, but they're not. They've got one track minds. They're not gonna, because when you're training to be a fighter, you want to become the best. So you're not gonna think Usyk's anything special. I mean, well, you know, he hasn't really fought anybody at heavyweight. He's only had 1 or 2 fights. He beat Chisora, but Chisora gave him a lot of problems. So Usyk's not exactly George Foreman, you know, he's not Holyfield. Now, I'm not saying you can't beat Joshua, but Joshua won't think like that. Joshua will just think, I can beat Usyk. But I do need to add, but if there is anybody that is cautious of Usyk, it'll be the likes of Eddie Hearn. It'll be Joshua's team. It's not. I mean, you've been around fighters. It's not the fighter, but maybe the team are going to try and keep Joshua away from him.
Listen, mate, his teams, they want to keep Joshua earning, don't they? They've got their heads that far up his arse. The guy can't even go for a jog in the morning with bodies falling out in his arsehole. All them hang around Joshua. If they weren't hanging around Joshua now, they'd be on dole, wouldn't they, selling drugs? That's the bottom line. They'd be dossers selling drugs. They'd have about 10 kids apiece to 10 different women. That's what they'd all be doing, mate, now. What would they be doing then, lot, around him, if he weren't who he is? Dossers,
see, you're smart enough to know that.
Down.
But the problem with boxing, a lot of these fighters don't get it. So, you know, they have these big entourages and so on. But they're just hanger-ons. You know, it's been happening in boxing for a long time. And, you know, I remember Muhammad Ali, you know, when he was active, he used to have a massive entourage. But then once you're retired, nobody wants to answer your phone calls anymore. Nobody wants to know you anymore.
No. You know, world champion boxers, they don't need loads of people around them. Carl Froch will not like that. Clinton Woods, Robin Reed, they're not like that. Do you know
No.
what I mean? Naz
I
will
don't know.
like that. Nazim Ahmed will like that. He always had to have people around him all the time, but no, them others not like that. Johnny Nelson, world champion, he's not like that. Junior Witter now. So it's strange. I always think it's strange and odd how the people, they always cop for a big entourage. Because, you know, when you've got the big entourages, they want feeding, they want watering, they want clothing, they want travel, they want putting up, and then they're going to want paying. Then they're going to want to bring their mates on board, and it's never ending. And I once saw some spreadsheets. I'm not going to say which fighter they were off. There were some spreadsheets, and it showed you what he'd been spending. Like, what is he thinking? But all he got to show for it was his house, a car, and a few quid. But his expenses were that much from everybody around him that he were having camps getting paid, and it were nearly all gone. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's expensive to keep people, isn't it? It might be $2,000 a week to keep somebody with everything in. If you've got 15 people around you, that's $30,000 a week. That's 1.5 million a year, plus God knows what else they want out of you while they're befriending you. You know, because once they've had that, they've got the foot in the door, they're going for everything, aren't they, when you're at that status? Seen it all, I've read books on it, Michael Jordan, all sorts, Jack Nicklaus, all sorts of books. What happens when people get a few quid? Look at Tommy Hearns. God, Tommy Hearns, that biggest entourage ever in boxing. Massive entourage, Tommy Hearns. Spent about 40 million on them all. Mike Tyson, another one. Holyfield. He was a gambler though, wasn't he? I just hope Joshua don't go through all this and end up losing it all to a load of dossers hanging around him.
No, but a lot of these boxers, they're naive people. They're easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
And well, think about it. I mean, I guess it's nice. You know, you've got people doing what you tell them to do, drive me around, do this, do that. So I'm not defending it, but a lot of boxers, they're mentally, it's easy to manipulate them, so they fall for it. Hey, champ, I'll do this. Let me carry your bag. I'll do that. I'm your cousin. I'm mates with your mate, and you know it's hard to say no. I guess it's a shame. It wouldn't. I'd never do it. Yeah, I mean, I've got a few good friends. Like, if I know you a long time, I'll deal with you. But if I become famous, I'm not just going to start hanging out with a bunch of new mates. If you remember what Floyd Patterson said, he said, if you've got $1 million, you've got 1 million friends. You know, but some of these boxers, they're gonna have to learn the hard way.
Yeah. What I'm going to say to you is, when you let people into your entourage, and I have seen it, and I've also seen how some fighters they don't need teams around them, but they start off hanging about the gym, right? Then when the trainer's not there, they might start holding the pads for you. Then they're walking around in a team whatever, Team Fred Blogs t-shirt, whichever fighter it is. Do you know what I mean? Then they're going on camps. Then before you know where you are, they're an advisor. And then you see them in dressing room, they're taping fighters' hands up. And you as the trainer are saying, how's it come to this? Do I say anything, or do I want to lose my 10% of what I'm getting or whatever I'm getting paid? And it's the only sport where it's allowed to happen. Do you think Jurgen Klopp's going to have somebody like me or you or Fred Blow or Joe Blogs going into Liverpool changing room saying, here, Jurgen, 2 seconds a minute, can we just put Mane in number 10 position and that Salah on left wing and we'll have Firmino up front, or start rearranging team, putting Henderson in goal or something?
But this boxing's a clown show.
Look at Dylan White. This is what happens. Look at Dylan White. Look at how all them people, he ended up with an entourage because Mr. Pay-Per-View, innit? Not fought for a European. All these people, everybody's got an opinion and you're getting pulled left, right, and centre. You can see Dylan White. You know, when I look at Dylan White, and he's in interviews. People are asking him a question, and you can see him checking it all, and he's like, you know, and he's probably thinking, what do I say? Because he's not media trained. He's just kicked doors down and got to that position he's in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
See where I'm coming from? But he's also now got a lot of leeches around him. Everybody's his best mate. But where was he back in the day when he had a 2-year ban? That's what he should really look at, when he had that 2-year ban. Do you know what I mean?
Fighters don't think like that. But that's why I say it's a clown show. You wouldn't, if you go to a restaurant to order a nice meal, you wouldn't be able to just barge your way into the kitchen, add salt. They wouldn't let you do that. Or same, as you said, same with other sports. In boxing, anybody can walk into a gym. You can start working with world champions. The fighter's uncle, brother, nephew, anybody can just, but you can't do it in any other sport. Like take basketball, you can't just walk onto the, I'm LeBron James' cousin. So this is what I'm saying about boxing. It's a clown show. You got all these people and just jumping into it. Without, obviously, if you look at the whole Daniel Kinahan, well, he's not licensed, is he? So you're getting all these people just jumping into boxing. And it's a clown show.
Advising people, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing's a clown show. Honestly.
He's done a bit more than that though for boxing, hasn't he, Daniel Kinahan? I'm not being a cheerleader or anything, but
no,
got about 300 fighters. Nobody complains about getting paid, do they, and all that. That to me is good. I don't want to know about all that other stuff. If you
don't.
How do I yet know? Not unless they're getting at my cheek to stick up my nose. I might have a little bit of a chat with them then. No, it's not to do with me, all that. Look, let's just draw a line under these down and out toe ending bastards that are sniffing around boxers and trying to take their hard earned money off them. Get in the fucking ring yourselves, or help them out for free. Pay your own way, you dossers. Right, Tony Bellew, you agree with that, yeah?
Oh, of course, there's too many of these people in boxing.
Don't sit on fence, because I've had Chris Smedley today sat on fence. Splinters.
I wouldn't do it.
Splinters in his arse, isn't that right, Chris?
I'm not like that.
Listen, mate, you've got to have an opinion in life. We live in a world where we've got a democracy, don't we? We can say what we want. Right, I'm going to ask you. Tony Bellew, a.k.a. the disappearing man, the man that won't go away. I've just turned my TV on tonight, and Tony Bellew's on there again. He's got a show with Dave Caldwell on Matchroom Boxing now, and analysing what you do. There's Caldwell there like that. Tony, no, don't get greedy, Tony. With shiny bald head and that fake smile that he does. Tony, no. There's Caldwell there in the ring, and they're mimicking how the Kelly Evan fight's going to go. What do you see happening in that fight, Michael?
Yeah, it's a very good fight. It's a very good clash of styles.
Yeah.
I think David Evanesian's the better fighter. I think he'll win the fight, but I don't see him getting on the scorecards, because it's just getting ridiculous now. How many robberies are we seeing one after the other? I think Kelly's very flash. He's got skills. He's elusive, but he lost to that Robinson. He lost the Robinson fight. If you know how to
Jay Robinson.
What's his name? Is it Sugar Robinson or Junior or something like that?
Robinson. We'll call him Robinson. Yeah, it's probably a stage name, isn't it? A bit like Steffi Bull, when his real name's little Andy Pandy Bullcroft.
But listen, I think Evanesian will win the fight, but I don't see him getting it's just too many robberies in boxing. I think he'll get robbed on the cards.
Yeah. Right, what we're going to say is, in my opinion, I think that it's a 50-50 fight. I do agree with Bean. I agree with Bean for once. It's a 50-50. It could be too early for Josh Kelly. It could be too late for the other kid. He could be over hill and far away. Josh Kelly might just time it right. European title fight might just coming into his peak. Adam Booth's a shrewd cookie, so what he's probably done is he's held it back this last few years, and they've done everything they can to hold it back. And maybe the time they think's right now. I think it's a very close fight to call. I think Evanesian could sneak it on points, but I also think that he could get jobbed on points real bad. It's that kind of fight because some at judging, which we're going to come on to in a minute, it's been shocking lately. But I'm going to go with Kelly with decision on points, which is a long shot, but it's a decent bet. But people are saying even he can knock him out. He's probably, if you tick every box on all the strengths, he's probably comes out on top on that, doesn't he, from experience and everything else. The other kid's not as tested as the other one, is he?
No.
Does that sound right, that Michael? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kelly's not as tested.
Yeah. So who are you going to go for then?
I think Josh Kelly's going to win by robbery.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because we're the conspiracy heads, aren't we? But yeah, I think he might get jobbed. But it is what it isn't. Right. All right then. Tony Bellew, the disappearing man's been reprimanded by Sky for cheerleading in the Chisora Usyk fight. And he says, well, don't put me on expert analysis work again next to ring if it's a pal of mine fighting. What do you think to that, Michael?
I agree. Get rid of him. Simple. I'll say it to his face.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Bellew, the disappearing man. The man.
I tell you what I think of some of these Sky Sports commentators. I'll give you a quick example. You know that Anna Warhouse. Do you remember a while ago? When
Warhouse.
Warhouse.
All right. I thought you said Warhouse. Yeah, go on.
No, Warhouse. Do you remember when she said about Katie Taylor? I think it was
not that icon speech that she did.
Not that one.
Oh.
Now there's two things I could pick up on, but remember when she said Katie Taylor boxed for Team GB?
Yeah.
All right. Now, but think about it.
You didn't. Did
Everybody. Sorry.
What's your Team Island? Wasn't she?
Exactly. Everybody knows Katie Taylor's Irish. Yeah. Now, and I've never actually met Katie Taylor. Anna Warhouse is around these fighters full time. So to come out and say something like that, Katie Taylor boxes for Team GB, but it just shows me you're ignorant. I don't think you should be doing that job if you don't know what you're talking about.
But isn't she friends with Barney Francis? We'll use that word now after we've had that little bit of a...
Yeah, but I think you've revealed it. You revealed it. I think she probably got the job because, well, she's friendly with Barney, or, you know, a lot of it is like they give them their Adam Smith and these people, they give the job to their mates, don't they?
Don't. You know, Bean, if I'd have gone to school with Bean and said, come here, you, I want 50p every day off you, you'll get a quid dinner money. I want 50 off you. Every day, man, I would have took it off him. Every day, I was come here. Yeah, I would have seen him in my class, a new starter when I was about 14. If he were a new starter coming in my class, I would have gone like that. Thank you, God. Thank you. And I would have hoped that he were the same shoe size as me. Because he would have had better trainers than I would have had, mate. My Patrick Stavilles wouldn't have matched his Adidas ZX 600s, would they?
No. And you would have taken his trainers.
If he were the same size as me, he would have gone for a shower after rugby or something, and I would have gone off with his trainers, and he would have gone home like Tarzan, mate. Bare feet.
But so what you're asking about Tony Bellew, to me, a lot of these Sky Sports commentators, they're incompetent. You're not doing your job. Like for me, I'm not a qualified driving instructor. I can't give you driving lessons. I can't speak Russian. I can't teach you Russian, and so on and so on. So to me, they're not competent at the job they're doing. So when you're screaming and shouting for Chisora, who's your mate, yeah, but to me, you shouldn't be getting that job. When you got mates commentating on their mates, or you got Paul Smith, you're commentating on your
commentator. I think he's really good, but I understand what he's saying. If he's commentating on his brothers and all that he's put in an awkward situation there, isn't he, with his job, and he'd put himself in an awkward situation when he's commentating on your brothers, wouldn't you? How can you give a fair assessment? You can't, can you?
But that's what I was going to say. You should take that.
That won't be his fault though, because he's not going to knock the graft back, is he? If he can. As a pundit.
But that's what I was going to say. You've got to take the choice away Because if you've got some sort of relationship, if it's your family member and so on, then you're not neutral.
You have to look at both sides. Snogan, I mean, the kids have got mouths to feed, aren't they, and that, but I don't want to see any arse licking. I see enough screenshots that Steffi Bull retweets everything Eddie Hearn does, and he ain't normally like that, and it's embarrassing. And you don't see other trainers doing that, do you, apart from him or Caldwell? Nobody else does it, mate. That's cringe. Why can't men be men? Could you imagine Mick Whale or Chris Smedley doing that? Or Clinton Woods?
Or Peter Fury.
Like that. Peter Fury. Imagine Peter ain't got time. Peter Fury ain't got time when he's busy 14 hours a day and he's got to fit 3 sessions in with you, hasn't he? What's that, 17-hour day? Then he's in bed at home when he gets on.
I mean, he's got businesses as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, Peter won't have time for going through Eddie Hearn's tweets. Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll retweet that of Eddie's and I'll tag Savannah and Ewan and Adam Smith.
No, but this is my point. Now, I don't actually read tweets.
Not real life.
That's my point. I don't really read people's tweets because I work. I've got things to do.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people, some of these people, like with the Steffi Bulls and the Dave Caldwells, they're trying to be Eddie Hearn's mate.
They're both pricks.
But that's not about it should be about the fighters. It should be about seeing the best fights. You know. But that's the problem with boxing these days, like British boxing, I mean. It's about being mates, it's about who you know. You know, it's not about seeing the fights we want to see.
Yeah. What do you think about Bean coming out with that about Josh Warrington's stamp collection? Did you hear that?
But listen. This is what I'm saying.
Stamp collections.
No, but this is my point.
Stamp collections, compelling. Go on.
Oh, so yeah, sorry, but that's my point. They're not good at their job. Josh Warrington lost because he wasn't a good enough fighter. That's it. You should just be talking about the fight.
That's a bit harsh than that, because considering what he's achieved, though, isn't it?
No, but I'll explain what I mean. When I say he's not good, I mean on the night he wasn't good enough. Look here. You remember when Muhammad Ali almost got knocked out by Henry Cooper?
Yeah.
In his next fight, Ali knocked out Sonny Liston, made him sit on the stool. So what I'm saying, it's up to Josh Warrington what he does from here on out. Josh Warrington may become a world champion. Of course he can. But on the night, anybody can have a bad night. I don't care who you are. Michael Jordan, Pele, Obama, Elvis. You might have a bad night. There's no shame in that.
Luis Suarez don't have many bad nights lately, does he? Atletico Madrid.
Suarez, isn't he the one that bit somebody?
He's one up there, mate, on my wall there in Barcelona top.
Look, there's no shame, but all these... Look, Warrington did very well. The kid was so brave. I was impressed by his courage. But, you're going about people's stamp collections. I don't really care what people do in their personal lives. If I go to a restaurant...
Not against anybody that collects stamps, just apart from well, what I do want to say is anybody that collects stamps, you're a dickhead, and I don't want you in my company. But I don't want, if somebody wants to do that, it should be kept private. It's not something that you brag about, is it? So if he's been to Josh's house and he's seen his stamp collection, he shouldn't be putting it out there, because he's going to make Josh look a dick doing that, and being overstepped the mark in my eyes. Because if that were my stamp collection, I'd be raging. But I ain't got a stamp collection, if you know what I mean. Does that sound right? We're on about a stamp collection.
No, but he's got the...
Oh, going on.
But Adam Smith, he's getting off point, because let me give you an example. If you go to a restaurant with your family to order a meal, you go there, you have your food, you might say hello and goodbye to the waiter, but you don't want to hear the waiter's life story. I'm just here. So this is what I'm trying to say about boxing.
Michael, let me just say this to you. When I go to a restaurant, right, I don't want people coming up to me after 2 minutes saying, "Is everything all right?" And you're like, yeah, you've not had a bite of your dinner yet. I don't want people hovering around me like a vulture on my shoulder while I'm tucking into my soup. I don't want people saying, "Is that all right?" I don't want waiters near me when I'm eating.
But exactly, I'm very. That's my point. I'm just there to eat my food. You know, I'll say hello to you. Thanks for your service. Have a nice evening. But I'm not trying to hear your life story. So the thing with boxing, because obviously you've never gone into we've never really spoken about stuff that I've done in the past. But I'm 30 years old. I've been around boxing since I was 16. I helped Ingram Jones get involved in boxing. I've been around. I used to train with Bahara Davies like over 10 years ago. So I mean, I've been around.
You're scaring me with all these roadman killer stories, man. What's
No,
that?
no, no, no. I'm saying, but I've been around boxing, so I'm
Getting
not.
a bit heavy on me here.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. You're right. But I'm saying, but I've been around boxing. You know, I used to interview people like 2012, but then I feel like I love with
Eddie
boxing.
on, Nissy Sauerland. Fucking hell. You're getting out your pram a bit there.
No, I'm trying to explain.
Go on then, Nissy.
No, but I'm trying to explain. I know what I'm looking at. So I don't if I'm watching boxing, just give me a boxing fight. I don't really care about people's stamp collections,
I
you
don't.
know.
But and being overstepped the mark there because it's probably shown Josh Warrington up now, going on about him being this big stamp collector and all that. You know what I mean? Just when he's starting to, well, he got to number one, didn't he? On BoxRec, didn't he? He was known as the man, wasn't he? And it's like a mega shock, isn't it, this fight? It's as big a shock as Big Dos of Femi losing, isn't it, against Ruiz? I think so. You.
No,
I had
I'll say
Warrington giving Stevenson a fight before overnight because that's how we all get drawn into it, don't we? And he's not really put a foot wrong so far, Josh, has he, Warrington?
I think he's done well, but I
Well,
think Joshua.
what could he have done any better? What is it? Area English, British, Commonwealth, European, and World through all the levels like Clinton Woods and people like that, Billy Joe, Callum Smith. That's brilliant what he's done, man. Him, brilliant. Even Rocky Fieldings went up through levels, didn't he? You've got to give people credit for that. Rocky Fielding won prize fighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sorry.
I think he's had a good career, but there's no shame in losing. You remember when Arsenal, what did they call them? Was it the Invincibles? Arsenal went 49 games unbeaten.
Yeah, but they drew a lot.
No, but I'm saying you're gonna run into someone. Let's just look at the history of boxing. Sugar Ray Robinson lost about 19 times. Muhammad Ali lost 5 times. Mike Tyson lost 5 times. Who else can I think of? Lennox Lewis lost fights. Harry Greb lost. So you're gonna lose fights. I think Warrington's he's still a world-class fighter. You just come back.
Lost fights, didn't he?
Yeah, he beat Frampton. You know, I think
Harrison beat Frampton. Well, I didn't know Audley Harrison were the same way.
No. So not Audley. Warrington. Warrington beat Frampton.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's no shit. You're still a world-class fighter. Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier in 1971, and then he beat him twice after that. So you just come back. There's no shame in losing. That's like every other sport. If you lose, you come back. But in boxing, if you lose, you get written off. Why?
Well, if you sell loads of tickets like Josh Warrington, people will be queuing up to sign him, won't they? Now for a comeback. And Eddie will know that. Eddie Hearn will know that. He'll be wanting to keep him on side now that he's just lost Callum Johnson to Bricktop today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where do we see, moving on from that then, where do we see Callum Johnson going now? Now he's with Bricktop. Will he fight Lyndon Arthur Yard winner?
I guess so. That'll be the most obvious choice.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank might try and build him up, get him a few fights, and try and build that fight up, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see what goes on now. Do you think it's going to be interesting to see what happens now with Callum Johnson? I mean, I've heard on grapevine that Frank Warren's working on a big US TV deal. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, he works.
We're going to save that for a video on its own, but I'll give you a bit of an exclusive there.
Appreciate it.
Old Bricktop working on a big American deal, eh?
Well, you know, he works with Bob Arum, so I'm sure Bob Arum can. Yeah, you can try and sort something out with Aaron.
Who's to say it's we are, or who's to say we on his own? You don't know, do you? You never know what's going on, do you, with Bricktop? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, his stable's not bad. You know, he's got a few fighters, and Fat Moan's a survivor. He's not the easiest person to get on with, but he's a very intelligent boxing man. He knows fights, so yeah, I'm sure there's still life in him.
Yeah, all right then. Moving on. Christopher Eubank Jr., what his dad would describe as a thespian. A thespian. Right, Chris Eubank Jr., Beefy Smith. Is it a good fight, Michael? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I think that's a good fight. You know, there's a lot of domestic fights for Eubank. You know, you got Smith, you got Liam Williams. There's plenty of few guys you can fight. You can fight. You got people like Mark Efron and Denzel Bentley and so on. And yeah, I'd love to see Eubank versus Smith.
What about Felix Cash against Denzel Bentley? What do you think to that fight?
But these are the sort of fights I want to see. I think that's a good fight as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you try and match, maybe they could have they should have some sort of middleweight tournament. Get 10, 12 of these guys in a tournament, and have a World Series of Boxing. But I mean, there's a lot of good fights out there. The problem is the fights aren't getting made. Yeah. As you said yourself, you said that you said Callum Johnson he got offered half the money. Look, fighters are not scared to fight, but boxing's about making money. So if you make it worth their while, they'll fight. But if you're going to underpay them and offer them half, well, they're not really going to want to do it then, are they?
Yeah. I see where you're coming from there. Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders. Does it happen this year?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
All right. And who do you think wins?
Canelo, obviously.
If they fought at 160, who'd win, though?
Yeah, Canelo's... He's fighting high-level competition. He's too active. I mean, look what he did to Callum Smith. Callum Smith just stood there, didn't even throw any punches back. I know Billy Joe Saunders is different. I know Billy Joe Saunders can move, but Canelo's just too experienced. He's going to cut the ring off, and I'm going Canelo easily.
All right, then, moving forward. Is Sam Jones an arsehole? Who's advisor to Frankenstein? What do you think?
Yeah, Joe Joyce. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about Sam Jones. It wouldn't be fair for me to say I don't really watch people's interviews. So I don't know what he's
loads
like.
of helmet votes at the moment, and I'm undecided on what I think about him at the moment. I don't know whether to just slaughter him every week, to make myself feel better about my life, and slaughter him. But he's not giving me an ulcer yet. But he seems to be giving everybody else an ulcer. You know what emails I'm getting? He's disliked a lot. Sam Jones, you disliked. I don't know. It's a weird sport, isn't it, boxing, isn't it? I'm just here to tell my own story and add a bit of comedy to it.
Keep up your videos, yeah.
Who's going to stop me? I'm unstoppable.
Yeah, they might go crying to Dennis.
Yeah, I might go cry. I'll go crying to Dennis. Why would I go crying to Dennis for anything?
No. You never heard me. They might go crying to Dennis.
Oh, they could go crying to Dennis all they want. What's Dennis gonna do? He can't take these shots, Dennis. You can't take these shots, Dennis. Can't take these. Dennis, remember Bulgaria when I took you down, firing shots into me? I grabbed him and took him down, choked him out. He bit me there. You asked Rami.
Oh, wow.
You asked Rami, he bit me. And I had a burn mark on my head. He gave me a punching perspex. We were down up floor. It waded into me. So we'd not Spock had me for 4 months, and I drove off in Leeds and left him.
Oh.
In his car I was driving as well. I left him in Leeds. What a beauty. I was that raging. I ended up in Selby on my home. How can you get good at celery when you're supposed to go in Sheffield? But anyway, we buried actually, didn't we, in Bulgaria? But we had a bit of a set too.
Okay.
You know, when a strong personalities clash,
Yeah.
nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brand new pop-up as well, about 70 grand's worth, brand new.
Oh, okay.
My pal said to me, you take the biscuit euro, so I really got away with murder, didn't I, with Dennis? Terrorised him, didn't I? For over 5 years, stuff like that. He must have been like, where am I going here with him? Yeah, bless him, but he'd get over it, won't you, Dennis? I've heard his head's gone, you know. He shaved his head, he's got to go. Hey, Den, come see me. Come see me. We can make a joke out of it, can't we? Well,
yeah.
If you're good-hearted, you can do what you want, can't you? Because you're good-hearted, aren't you? And that's why I get away with a lot of stuff, innit? Because I'm good-hearted. But moving on, then, I wanted to ask you if you felt that Conor Benn deserves the hype. Now, I know recently we've seen a big change in him. He went missing. He got his head down, and he looks like he could be a force at maybe British European level at the moment. What do you think? I don't think he's ready for world level yet, is he?
No, I don't think he is. But again, I don't think it's the fighter's fault. What is with let's just say, especially Sky Sports, especially Eddie Hearn and Adam Smith.
Yeah.
I'll say it to their face. I'm not going to make any personal attacks. I don't know them on a personal level. Maybe they're nice people, but they hype fighters up too much. Like they get carried away with the things they say. So with Conor Benn, the narrative is Conor Benn, the son of Nigel Benn. Yeah, but that doesn't. What does that have to do with boxing? Because when you get in the ring to fight, you're in there on your own. You know, your dad won't be there to help you. Either you can fight or you can't fight. I'll give you a quick example of what I mean. Like, I remember I used to spar O'Hara Davies like 2008, 2009. I'm 30 years old. I'm 2 years older than O'Hara. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you the truth. You're going to like what I say. 2008, I used to spar O'Hara Davies, and I was 2 years older than him. I used to do fine. 2008.
That's a fish.
No, I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain what I mean.
Yeah.
August 2008, I used to spar him, no issues. By the time it got to August 2009, now he's 2 years younger than me. By August 2009, he became too much. I didn't want to spar him anymore. He punches hard. He's very aggressive. Yeah, I just didn't. I couldn't handle it anymore. So he used to come to the gym. He said, "Hey, you want to spar?" And I say, "I don't really feel like it today." So I'm giving an example. Once you start going up the levels, what I think about Conor Benn, I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he will or he won't. Are you going to keep maintaining it over time? Because so far, you know, you've had a certain amount of fights, but it's like what happened to Warrington. You know, you beat Frampton, but you know you've lost to the Lara.
You're going down other avenues now.
Oh, okay. But I'm saying about Conor Benn. All that matters is what happens in the ring. It doesn't matter who your dad is or any of that other stuff. Once someone punches you in the face, are you good enough to handle it? Will you be able to, once someone hits you back? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, sometimes, you know, all them fighters that can dish it out, they're called on-top fighters. As soon as somebody gives them it back, they're totally different. Now, that's the first time I've seen Josh Warrington be set about, and it didn't work out for him, did it? Because he's overwhelmed everybody before, hasn't he, with his fitness and his style, hasn't he? So I think that he's going to have to make tweaks to his style to move forward.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's just what I'm saying. It happens to a lot of fighters where if you run into something you're not used to, can you adapt? Can you deal with it? Okay, it's like Shannon Courtney. You know, it's all well and good when she's hitting people, but as soon as someone hit her back, now she wants to start talking about, I've got mental health issues. No, you don't. Someone hit you back and you couldn't handle it. You know? Also good, it's like a lot of, that's not even, you got like a bully, look, anybody can dish it out.
Mike
Can
Tyson,
you take it back?
as soon as his bubble were burst, that was it, wasn't it?
well, you lose the aura of invincibility, and I've seen it. I've seen it happen to people in the gym. I've seen people. You get some of these people that will take liberties, but then as soon as you run into someone that can hit you back, now you don't really want to know anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've seen things like this. So that's what I'm trying to say about people.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm like Albert Trotter in Only Fools. He don't like to talk about war, does he? Let's have a look what else we've got here. What do you think is going to happen with this Sky deal? Do you think Eddie Hearn's going to get in again with Sky, or do you think they're going to put him on Skid Row and so he goes with DAZN in England? What do you think, Michael, about that?
I think there's no way Sky Sports is going to get rid of him. No way.
Yeah.
But I can see Eddie Hearn leaving them for DAZN because it's just business. He's just whoever offers him the most money, the best deal, that's who he's going to go with.
Yeah.
I don't see Sky Sports they're never gonna get rid of him, but he might leave them.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel they're using Carl Froch enough at Sky, or do you feel that he's not getting enough slots at Sky and they're using the same old rotor? Because it looks like there's a bit of a beam mason cult going on there, don't there? There's so many of them in the beam masons. I don't put Froch in there, not because he's my pal. I just don't think that he totes company line like rest. Do you think that they're gonna not give Carl as many dates as the others because that he's a bit controversial like Roy Keane? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna give him dates because I don't think there's anything wrong with Froch. I think Froch is good at commentating. He says it as it is, but I think Sky Sports people like Adam Smith, well, they're control freaks. They're corrupt. They pick and choose. I just think it's out of control. You need to have some sort of government control where they're picking and choosing their mates. They're picking and choosing who says what they want to hear. But I want to see Glenn McCrory. I want to see Froch. I want to see Ian Dark. I want to see people like that.
Yeah.
People that just tell it as it is. I'm not stupid. Like, don't tell me something. I've got two eyes. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Do you think Herbie Idle make a comeback, or do you think he's too old?
That's too old. I think last I heard, didn't he get arrested for drug dealing or something?
Yeah, I heard that Herbie will serving up. Good luck to him, I say, whatever he does in future. Because I remember him getting beat off of like a journeyman on a cut or something early in fight or something. And rule were for this fight that if that happened, it were a loss or something. Like Herbie got cut or something. I remember him being heartbroken and that, but I also remember him being fastest heavyweight I'd seen since Ali. Do you remember?
Oh.
Fast one here behind.
Yeah, I mean, he was smaller. He was cruiserweight, so you're bringing that speed. I think he was a good fighter, but I don't see him coming back. He's not famous enough. Nobody's
gonna. Though, wasn't he?
Of course he was.
Who were your favourite fighter then, Michael?
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
I like Joe Louis. I like Sugar Ray Robinson. I like Willie Pep. Yeah, probably put Muhammad Ali there as well. I just like fighters that fight. Whoever wants people that fight all the best opponents. People like Oscar De La Hoya, Marvin Hagler, Carlos Monzon. I love seeing people that just have exciting fights.
Yeah.
But these days they pick and choose. It's all about business instead of the love.
What do you think Steve Galahad as a fighter? Do you like his style, or do you think that his style's no good? What do you think?
He's a good fighter. He's a good world-class level, but he's not the most exciting person to watch because I want to see more aggression from him. He doesn't really turn up with the intention of fighting. He comes to spoil. He just comes there to. I understand. Maybe sometimes you just do what you need to do to win, but it's sometimes boring.
Yeah.
So he's not my favorite fighter.
What do you think to women's boxing?
I don't mind it. I mean, I don't mind it. I wish women all the best, but
But you haven't got a woman, have you?
no, I'm happily single.
The bleed you dry, you know, mate.
Well, look, men and women are different, obviously. So women are not necessarily as physically strong as men, but it's different for men's boxing. But I think there's a place for women's boxing. But again, the problem is we're not seeing the fights. Because I'd love to see Terry Harper versus Tasha Jonas, the rematch. I'd love to see Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron, Bray Cruz versus McCaskill 2, Chantel Cameron versus what's that girl's name? Michaela Mayer. So the fights are there, but just they're not making the fights. This is the problem with boxing.
Without fighting, as you said earlier.
It's like, look at go on.
I was going to say, do you think Robert McCracken will still be at the EIS in 5 years, milking them big udders? Do you think?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He deserves it, Big Earn, doesn't he? He deserves it. He deserves a bit of luck. God, geezers want Euro millions. All right, then. Moving on. What did you think about the Barry McGuigan and the Carl Frampton intense beef sandwich?
Oh, when Frampton said he hates him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be sending Barry a Christmas card this year, will he?
Well, obviously he's robbed Frampton of money.
Yeah.
But this is boxing.
Allegedly, we have to say allegedly on here because there's no allegedly for the tape.
You don't want to get sued, Porky.
Oh, we have enough problems as it is. People trying to get us took off here. Trust me, there's people trying daily to get me off. Gotta be up early to get Porky though. No, it's allegedly in it. They settled it amicably and they've moved on, haven't they? So that's all. Nobody's at fault, is there? We don't. You know what I mean? Barry's kept his dignity. We have to look at it from both sides, don't we? Am I right, Anna? So, moving on. What do you think about George Groves as a pundit? Do you think he's a good pundit?
He's all right. I mean, he's not my favourite. I like Glenn McCrory, Ian Dark, Frotch, but I think George Groves is okay. You know, I don't mind him. Who are some of your favourite pundits?
I think that Jamie Moore's good. Ryan Rhodes. I thought Macklin were really good when he started, but
he's got terrible these days.
Yeah, Macklin's crossed over, and he looks like he's got Frotcher's job, doesn't he? With Adam Smith Beanie, but Macklin's crossed over to the dark side, I'm afraid.
He's joined the Bean Masons.
He's joined the Bean Masons. He's had his finger pricked by Ed Robinson. So Bean had him set fire to one of them cards in his hand. That was that. He rubbed it. And that was it. You have entered the Bean Mason cult. This comes before your wife, your kids, or anybody if we ring you. And that's what they've said to him, sadly, and he's crossed over. It's a shame. But what can you do? All right, then moving on. Devin Haney. What do you think about him? And Ryan Garcia, is that a good fight?
I'd love to see that. Of course, that's a good fight. You've got two world-class lightweights. They're both undefeated, and they both think they can win. So they're both going to turn up to win. I think it's a good clash. Ryan Garcia's got very fast hands. They both got good skills. I'd love to see that. That's a fight I would love to see. But I think probably the most exciting lightweight, you'd probably say Gervonta Davis, because anybody he hits, like that guy's got knockout power, So, but this is the problem with boxing. There's not enough of the fights happening. Yeah. Look at football. Football, they're always playing each other. Basket's like in boxing. What's a good example? Okay, I'm telling you right now, there is no way Fury Joshua happens this year. No way. But in any other sport, you wouldn't see that. That's the problem with boxing. We're not seeing the matchups. All we just get a bunch of people talking about it, but that's not what I want to see. You know, like if I go to a restaurant and I order food, I don't want the waiter to stand there talking for an hour. Just serve my food so I can eat and go home. You know, it's like if I go to I don't know, if I order something off Amazon, I expect it to come in a certain amount of time. You know, I don't expect to wait 4 or 5 years for my delivery. But the problem with boxing, they're making us wait 4, 5, 10, 20 years, or that's if it even happens. You know, but like Joshua Fury, that's no way that happens this year. And going back to your question, just put them in the ring with each other. I'd love to see Devin Haney versus Garcia, Lomachenko versus Garcia. You got Tefilio, Lopez versus Javante Davis. Just mix it all up. Like, where's the excitement in boxing these days? You know?
Yeah, where is the excitement? It's exciting times ahead. This is why we love this sport so much, Johnny. Right. Let me think. Let me have a good think here. Do you think Isaac Lowe wins a world title? You rate him as a fighter?
I think he's decent, but I'll be fair to him. Well, you can't really say until they fight somebody. I like to see him take a step up, but I think he's a decent fighter. You know, but as I said,
What do you think about Gavin McDonald's world title fight against that Gagas, whatever he's called, or gagging for it? I don't know, whatever he's called, begins with G. He's going to fight in Spain for European title, and he wasn't even in that division. And all of a sudden, he jumped in and he's got a title shot for European. So we have to tip our hats to Steffi Bull, don't we, for pulling it off, his manager.
mates with Eddie, I guess.
Well, I don't know about that, but he's got that lad a shot, and he Gavin McDonald, so he's got a chance of getting back in mix. But I don't see it. I see him losing in Spain, and that's what I see in a stinker. I see him sticking it out. So that's what I see. It's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Skid row for a pair of them, but boxing's a tough sport, isn't it? You can't just dive in and out at boxing and expect to be at the top of your game, can you?
No, of course not. But you get fighters fighting once, twice a year, not boxing for 18 months.
So good.
So how can you? It's like if you go to school, when you study for your GCSEs, you got to go to school for what, 5 years to do GCSEs, and you can't just not turn up for a year, because well, they'll just kick you off the course, won't they? So this is the thing with boxing. If you're just going to disappear, well, you know, it has an effect. You know, your body's not going to get any younger, and but a lot of fighters don't seem to understand that.
Yeah. All right then. Josh Taylor, what next for him?
I don't know. Who could he fight? I think
Does he move up?
probably, yeah. Boxing's a money sport, and a lot of these fighters, they go where the money is, don't they?
Welterweight's a wealthy division. It always has been. It's an old glamour division. One of the original 7, isn't it?
One of the original 8s.
Is it 8? Is it 8, 7, and 8? We don't count strawweight, do we?
I think Josh Taylor's a very good world-class fighter. Yeah, I think he's big enough to move up to welterweight. He can take on people like Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia. He can fight these people. You know, maybe he could take on Mikey Garcia.
Yeah. Who's Josh Warrington going to fight in his comeback?
I don't know. Maybe try and get him someone in the sort of top 15. Just try and rebuild him. Or
What about Josh Wales? I think that's a good.
Also, Josh.
Josh.
Yeah, Josh Wells. Yeah, no, yeah. I remember your Josh Wells. That'll be a good fighter.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight for him. Comeback fight.
Yeah, it's a nice domestic fight. I'd like to see that fight. Do you still manage, Josh?
Oh, I don't. Dennis does till April 12th.
Okay.
So,
but
it is what it is, isn't it? But I think Josh Whale against him is a great fight. Josh Warrington, comeback fight. He's just coming off a bad knockout. He got no belt. not bringing out to the table except big support. But Josh Wales got big support as well. They both know each other. They both stayed at each other's houses. The dads know each other. Leeds versus South Yorkshire, innit? West Yorkshire versus South Yorkshire. I think it's a great fight, me. I think it's a great fight.
I'd like to see it, but will they do it?
I think they'll have to take something. They might be looking to get a bigger name, but what if he gets took out? They're going to have to rebuild again, aren't they? So why not rebuild now if you think you can beat Josh Whale? I think it's 50-50 fight. People might say, okay, talking crap. Well, I bet Josh Wales a clean liver. He's 4-0 anyway, Dennis. Got a belt, IBO International. He's on a good run, isn't he? He's not coming off a Galahad stinker and then this one, is he? And being knocked out. We've got momentum with him, hasn't he? Well, they're similar age, aren't they? He's a couple of younger than Josh. Why not?
I agree. I think
it's a good fight for them. Good fight for everybody involved.
Hopefully it gets made.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. We'll see. Dennis wants it, doesn't he? Because he's putting tweets out, isn't he, about it and tagging Josh Whale into tweets with Josh Warrington. So Dennis should go make a move and get something tied up, shouldn't he, before April?
Maybe try and get in touch with Eddie Hearn, try and call him.
Try and get Warrington back on track. They're going to want, and it's a good fight for Josh Whale that at this stage of his career, and Warrington. Let the talks begin if they're going to begin, but we'll see, won't we? But I think that's a good fight for Josh Whale and Warrington. So
yeah,
and there's only respect between both camps anyway, so why not? At least they're fighting men, aren't they?
I just want to see a fight. I don't want to see any clown shenanigans.
Yeah, it's what do you think is going to happen with Dylan White and Povetkin? Do you think he beats Povetkin, Michael, in this rematch?
It's hard to... I don't know. I've got a feel... I'm leaning... on the one hand, Dylan was winning the first fight comfortably before he got knocked out.
Yeah.
But obviously, Povetkin's... He's intelligent. He set him up. He was waiting for that shot. Same thing could happen again. I think Dylan's probably more likely to win because now he's going to be more cautious of that left hook.
What do you mean on points? Dylan on points you're going for?
Yeah, probably points. He'll probably do what Joshua did against Ruiz. He'll just box it safe. But listen, but you can't write Povetkin up. Like Povetkin can come at any moment and catch him again. Povetkin only needs one shot to take him out. So it's a hard fight to pick. It's like, what's a good, he can knock Dylan out at any given time.
Yeah. All right then, mate. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. We've had over an hour, and it's way past my bedtime, but you've been on at me all week, haven't you, to do this, so you've had your moment. All right?
Appreciate it.
Are you happy? I'm just gonna,
it was good.
We're like pulling fucking teeth.
Yeah, I think you're a bit...
At least you take it on chin, don't you? Well, mate, but I could do it. I could do it the rest of mine out. Save me a lot of money for when I go get them done. I'll be in and out quicker, won't I? So get around the fires and pull these bits of fossils out. So, all right then. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Michael. You've been a real tonic. I will never forget this day. Would you like to shout out to your Twitter handle or whatever social media handles you're on?
Oh, yeah, sure. I've changed it. If you just type in...
Wait, you need to go get a pen and paper. Write it down, don't they, Michael?
Yeah, it's short and simple. Yeah. Just type in Emperor Michael. And yeah, I'll leave a few comments on this video so you can check out. You can come to my channel if you want. But
Emperor, is that Emperor?
Emperor Michael.
Oh,
well, it's catchy.
It's what? Emperor.
Oh, I've been reading books about the Roman emperors and.
My God! You're not one of them who reads that fucking Tzu or some Art of War. Have you read that?
Oh yeah, I love that book, Sun Tzu. Yeah.
Oh, well, you're not one of them, mate. Yeah.
No, but I'm a
Do
big,
me a favour, please.
I'm a big fan of Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great military leader.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I joined the British Army, so I might as well study military.
Yeah, this is getting heavy for me. Right, listen, we've had a great laugh. You've been a real tonic. You're very funny. You can take a bit of banter as well. I like that, Michael. But you don't have to explain about banter what it says in dictionary. No problem. Well, listen,
That's all right.
no
Don't bother
problem.
me.
You take care. What have you got on this weekend? What are you doing?
Oh, I've got an army training weekend. We're going to be
Yeah.
sleeping in the woods.
Right. There's bears in woods, you know. What woods are you going in?
Oh, I don't know the name of the place. It's like
Down your way.
No, it's like out of London. It's like a 2-hour drive out of London.
No, you're going to cope, mate. There's trees and all that outside London, mate, and fields.
But they're going to stick us all on a coach, drive us there.
That's what they're telling you, mate.
I've done it before. You get like rifle lessons. They give you different lessons, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Get you in army as John Rambo.
That's the plan.
Hey, Jesus. I'm just thinking now. What's that? What's that for saying on that program? Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. That's army, innit? That's you this weekend, mate. And on that note, have a good weekend.
You too, Russell. Take care.
Peace out. You take care. Bye-bye. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye.